So as we came into the holidays, we started to wonder about America 250, about the different things that really stand out about America, what represents America, things like the Statue of Liberty, the Liberty Bell. All of these things are iconic pieces of history, right? But the fact remains, a lot of them don't actually have digital duplicates or ways to view them online in immersive formats that really help to engage school children all the way through grown adults. And so we wanted to change that. We wanted to make something that we could give away to everybody. My name is Dr. Christopher Shelton. I am the director of the Virtual and Augmented Reality Lab, or VAR Lab for short, here at Penn State Behrend. I'm also an associate professor of clinical psychology. So my team and I wanted to create a digital duplicate of the Liberty Bell. We have a replica here, but there is no digital duplicate that's available online and freely available for anyone in the world to access and utilize. The goal of having the digital clone serves a number of purposes. First, it covers and provides digital preservation. So wood, like the yoke, can rot over time, metal can start to flake, damage can occur to the bell. Digital duplicate stays one-to-one and it doesn't change. So that's great for historic preservation. In addition, though, it allows us to do stuff that we wouldn't have otherwise been able to do. We don't use the bell anymore because of the crack in it, obviously, but I kept wondering what that might sound like. We know what it would sound like without the crack, but what it would sound like with the crack, we could simulate if we had a one-to-one replica of it. In terms of American iconography, there's few things with as much impact as the Liberty Bell. We all grow up learning about it. We all have seen pictures of it. But I started thinking to myself, I'm 41 years old. I have no clue what this thing sounds like. I've seen it once in my life, but I couldn't find any immersive reality versions of it online that I could visit in VR or even in AR. There's a lot of new technologies that can really help to make this more accessible to everyday individuals, but none of it existed. And so we wanted to find a way to make that available to everybody in new and increasingly immersive formats. We only had 2 days up at Independence Hall, 3 different scanning sessions, and during that time we did structured light scans, we did LiDAR scanning, we did 360 video, we did 180 video that is VR and 3D, so it's got spatial orientation to it, it's got depth to the video. We also created replicas of the entire Independence Hall where the bell is located to make that available for individuals as well. So the value to the National Park Service is several-fold, but the biggest one being historic preservation. Hopefully nothing ever happens to the bell, but things start to deteriorate over time. There's national disasters. Who knows what can happen to it? You can have a million pictures of something, but trying to recreate it after the fact is going to be very hard. You won't know the depth of or the thickness of the metal at that particular part of the bell. With this type of a scan, you actually will. You would be able to create molds and casts to rebuild this as close to identical as possible. In terms of how this would be a resource for the broader public, it's really, I'm still coming up with new ways every single day. I think there's so many ways beyond just education. In terms of outreach, we can now take this type of a scan, we can 3D print replicas of the cracked bell in one-to-one scale. We can then, using prior research done by Penn State that simulates what the bell would sound like, we could then include speakers within that bell that provide that same sound of what it would sound like. It could go around the state or even the country and provide outreach to children, to school groups, to historical groups, anything like that. There's this sense of wonder being close to this thing. I can't, it's hard to describe. It's something that you can feel the history being around it. I wanted to get closer to it, and I was very careful. Obviously, we wanted to be respectful of it, so we were very careful not to touch it, but just being that close to something that has been through so much American history, played such a huge role of that, made a huge impression on me personally, it made a huge impression on the students. So one of the takeaways for me is really to not take for granted Americana, not take for granted what we have at our disposal to travel around and see, and to also realize that not everyone has that ability to travel around and see it. And even some of these things that everybody associates with America, like the Liberty Bell, a lot of them don't have digital duplicates. And so it's inspired us to want to do more and find ways to bring more of the world to people no matter where they are. If we can use our immersive technologies to create an immersive world regardless of whether or not you can physically travel there, it's rejuvenated us and charged us with wanting to do that and expand even further.